You made it!
He's not surprised.
Man, I'm glad you're here.
Likewise.
It really helps knowing I'm not alone in all this.
Yeah, same here.
I think I found our way across.
Right. Shall we? That about does it.
Hold on. Check that out.
Those are more important than the others.
This has to be it. Oh, sweet baby, come to mama. Can't see for what. Light! I need more light! So, have you found out what they want yet?
We think so. We can't say for certain, as the behavior is erratic. But they appear to be searching for material.
Excuse me? You mean to say that these savages have gone to all this trouble for materia?
So far as we can tell, yes.
How very dull. Be that as it may, I suppose I should talk to them.
Right.
Enjoying yourselves at rest? Oh, okay, simple holiday? How precious. But I know just what you need to listen up a little. After such a long journey, you must be so tense. Luckily, I have toys for that. All far more entertaining than this.
What do you want?
Oh dear, is that any way to talk to your host? Really though, as guests, it's more about what you want, and I think you'll find it just up ahead. Hurry now, don't keep me waiting.
So, boss, what are you thinking?
That we're walking into a trap, I guess. But it's nothing we can't handle, right?
I could have said it better myself.
last panel to the battery. So if you're running parallel, you're running, multiple cables from each panel.
No, you run it parallel in the instructions.
Okay. Good. I didn't know that. That's good.
state-of-the-art weapons testing facility. This is where we push every piece of ordnance to its limits and beyond. Such tests are an invaluable part of the development process. Go on, see where your magic happens.
Commencing ordnance testing. Select ordnance type to deploy this drive. Selection confirmed. Initiate ordnance deployment procedure. Subjects approaching test site. Test begin momentarily. Beginning.
Another one for the books.
Analysis concluded. Continue to try.
Welcome back.
Select ordnance type to deploy this drive. Initiate ordnance deployment procedure. Analysis concluded. Continue the trial. Select ordnance type to deploy this trial. Selection confirmed. Initiate ordnance deployment procedure. Analysis concluded. Continue the trial. Select ordnance type to deploy in this trial.
It's fucking dirty as hell, dude.
What?
Then I see you holding your breath.
Initiate ordnance deployment procedure. Subject approaching test level. Test will begin momentarily. Analysis concluded. Beginning final test. Initiate ordnance deployment procedure. Subject approaching test level. Test will begin momentarily. Beginning analysis.
creative prowess.
My, how impressive. Seems I may have underestimated how resilient you ninjas can be.
May have? How about did, you old hag?
You giants, so feisty. But let's see how you fare against what I have in store for you next. It's quite the treat, I assure you. Only the best for our honored guests, after all. Whenever you're ready.
That thing can't be operational, can it?
You better hope not, boss.
At long last, Wu-Tang's finest deigned to join us. You've performed admirably.
Quit acting all superior. We both know you're afraid of us.
Is that so? Well, maybe I am.
You should know there's more where we came from. Lots more. And you'll never see them coming. Just imagine a whole clan of ninjas landing on your doorstep.
Oh my! We must do something right away.
Well, you can't.
Don't say that. Won't you at least give us a chance? Allow me to present the latest innovation in shooting car, designed by yours truly. This will be a memory to cherish for the rest of your lives. All 30 seconds of them. Are you? should have known those actuators weren't up to the task. Time for an overhaul.
Hello? My. How the tables have turned.
Proud of yourself, little savage?
What are you doing? This is a surprise. To what do I owe the pleasure? These idiots want to digitally replicate me, so I'm indulging them.
Awesome. Transported.
When will Shimmer learn? There is no replicating you. They ought to know better. Looking forward to this. I am. It has been too long since my last hunt. What's your doom? Tell us.
Is this how it's done in Wu-Tai? You just howl until you get what you want.
That's enough going on. I got this. Alright, lady, out with it. Tell us where you're hiding the new materia. Don't play dumb now. We know you've been cooking up something super powerful.
Well, Wu-Tai might have some highly skilled intelligence operatives. That, or we have a mole in our midst.
Don't choke on it.
Alright, make it quick.
You are correct that we're in the process of creating an exquisite new materia. However, it is far from complete.
Yeah, right. You must think I'm stupid.
Would I lie to you? Regrettable though it is, other plans have been deemed a higher priority.
What other plans?
Well, just between you and me, my colleagues and I are going to drop plate number 7 on the sun. And then we're going to blame it on Avalanche and Wu-Tai.
I don't get it. You're gonna drop a plate? And?
Oh dear! I think your friend might have run into trouble. Aren't you going to save him? Quickly now!
There is no ultimate materia. Not yet. She said it's still in the works. And she mentioned something else. They're gonna drop plate number 7.
You're gonna do what?
They're gonna drop plate number 7 on the slums. Apparently. DJ was being serious?
This is bad. Just here.
Hate to be the bearer of bad news, man.
Just sticking with it.
There is no ultimate materia. Not yet. She said it's still in the works. And she mentioned something else. They're gonna drop plate number 7.
You're gonna do what?
They're gonna drop plate number 7 on the slum. Apparently. Wait. DJ was being serious?
This is bad. We're behind you. We may not have the material, but you do have good intel. And we can't afford
want to go back out there, but I don't think we've got a choice. You're good. Normal fetch.
Meaning retract.
I want them to suffer. The rest, I leave to you.
What was that?
They figure we need a challenge. Meaning we're in for a world of hurt. Your move.
Where are these freaks even coming from? I really like them to stop. Joke's on you, Shinra, if you think we're dying in this ugly box.
I'm set! Neutralize! Come on! Ready!
Okay, this is getting old.
There's gotta be a projection mechanism around here somewhere. If we can just find it.
Didn't say so sorry. Like the cool I bring. Can we please get out of here already?
Who could have done this?
I don't like the looks of this. Tell me they're here to help.
Subjects on site. It's time. Initiate the TVM field test.
Sir.
Did you all on the same team?
Ooh, there are no teams in deep ground.
Deep ground?
The place where my brother and I like to play.
Cool. Now mine's moving aside.
Let's take a different tack.
Well, can't blame a girl for trying.
Let the games begin.
Please don't push it.
dare you stand in my way? Now Where were we?
Don't know what the crap is.
Stop it, just a show. Yes.
Right in.
No.
Gotta tell me.
You did it. Don't want to spoil the moment, but we should probably get going.
I'm so tired.
Let me carry you.
You win. Jeez.
Theodore? Theodore? George, calm down.
You asshole! I'm not a kid! I'm not your sister!
George. George. Wait outside.
This is just wrong. Don't think I can do this alone. The amazing Yuffie wants you. Join her team and the sky's the limit. Hey, Barrett? Were you really walking the whole way?
Yep.
Column's still pretty far, though, isn't it?
Another full day, give or take.
Question. When my mom says a full day, she means from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go to bed. But for me, it means from the time you get up in the morning all the way through till the time you get up the next morning. So, which is it for you?
Gotta go with Elmira on that.
That's a relief. Is it?
Theodore?
Bet you had to hook it from sun up to sundown tons of times. This is all just same old, right?
That's right. But even so, we're all gonna need to stop and rest. Especially you.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, walking into the unknown ain't easy. But don't worry, because I'm here to lead the way.
That's comforting.
Of course it is.
Theo.
All right, everyone, let's stop here for
Theo.
leader's orders.
Theo. You make her mad.
In that fresh air.
Calm down, George.
Scratch that.
George. Calm down.
Let's, save it for later. When we're not so close to Midgard.
Guess this is goodbye, City of Mako. Like this? Yep, just like that. No way! A car!
with these damn birds.
Sorry about that.
No need to apologize, ma'am.
Alright. Stop. Quit.
Look at that. Where's a roof when you need one?
Gonna be okay?
Should be, but weird. My stomach's in knots.
That's its way of telling you it's hungry. Let's move.
It's been a while, huh? Long time no see. How you been? Listen. Hey. I'm back! Aerith?
Theodore? Quit. You okay, George? George? Breathe, baby. George, stop. You want something? Stop. Stop. George. I mean it. Here. George, you gotta go. I want you playing around in there. Here, Theodore. Oh! There you go. Come on, Bowie. Eat that meat. Understood? Hang on. That's pretty good. I am mad. Here. Hey. No. Quit. What is going on over there? Welcome back.
In comparison here with SC, as far as, you know, we joke about the SEC, it just means more. That maybe it just doesn't mean as much to SC anymore. That, you know, obviously the Marcus Allens and O.J. Simpson football version, those guys aren't walking through the door, right? Even Caleb Williams. It feels Caleb Williams, that feels like generations ago.
Like, what's been the biggest difference for you on the field?
On the field wise, you know, we were hand signals at South, so I'd say for me, honestly, right now is like calling the plays and, you know, having to be in a huddle and all that. But overall, I feel like the speed. Of course, I think we got great players in the Sun Belt, and I think I played great competition there. And I got to play LSU last year. We went last year, the year before I saw Oklahoma State. I saw us go in there and win 33-7. I saw Carter do that. So like for me, it's just like, okay, like, you know, there's great talent everywhere, and, you know, sometimes it's situational, and I feel like the Sun Belt prepared me enough to go play in the ACC. Speaking of great talent, we got one of your wide receivers, Jordan Shipp, here. Who else on this team has really caught your eye as you've developed this bond with some of your offensive weapons? I feel like everyone caught my eye. You know, we got great players everywhere, running back, receivers, tight ends. I don't want to, you know, I don't got to name anybody. Of course, Jordan Shipp's here, but I feel like, you know, all of our receivers can go and play. Even when it comes to the true freshmen that just came in, we have some great talent, and our coaches did a great job recruiting players and keeping the players that were already here. And they can all go and produce and be a very key piece of the offense. For that chemistry, though, what have you guys done? Obviously, it comes on the field, but I'm sure there's a lot off the field you're doing as well. Of course, you know, chemistry-wise, you know, going through player-led practices, you know, we build chemistry there, but also off the field, just hanging out off the field and understanding that, like, you can build a lot of chemistry, not just with football, but off the game, you know, playing the game or just going to eat or just talking to these guys, learning where people are from, you know, like, you know, back at South, one of my best receivers was Jamal Pritchett. He's with the Jets now. Like, for me and him, we hung out every day, and next thing you know, he has 94 catches, 1,400 yards, and he's in the NFL. So, like, for me, just being around people and just, you know, being natural and being yourself, you know, just being around everybody can be beneficial.
Did I really think that your dad had to convince you to play quarterback?
Yeah, I didn't want to play quarterback.
What did you want to play?
I wanted to play safety or receiver. I just thought it was more fun. You know, I said quarterback. When you're playing Pee-wee,
I think you're the only kid in the world. Everybody wants to. Who doesn't want to throw the ball, man?
You know, and Pee-wee just had the ball, so I was like, man, I'm tired of handing the ball off. Like, I want the ball in my hands. That's how it was for me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. What are you most looking forward to, man? You know, about this season, being with North Carolina. I mean, obviously, it's a great place, but what are you most looking forward to?
For me, you know, just right now, I'm looking forward to fall camp. You know, just being able to compete against the other, you know, against our other team, our defense. You know, fall camp is pretty much
they are the other team.
Just competing, you know, just playing football and just being able to learn from Coach Belichick. I'm excited to make mistakes and learn and get told what I can correct and get better at. You know, those situations. You know, you can't. Who else?
Out of there.
From besides Bill Belichick, there's so many. And then you got the other staff. You know, you got Kitchens. You know, all these NFL guys you can learn from. Just getting coached up, I'm excited for it. How much fun is that Monday night game going to be? A primetime game. I know it's been probably safe to say a media circus for you guys all off season anyways, but sold out all season long, and you get to start things off on Monday night in the primetime slot. It's super exciting. I mean, of course, everyone's looking forward to it, but for right now, we're all just thinking take one step at a time and show up for workouts on Monday for us right now. But it is super exciting to think about playing on Monday. He said right now the other team is the defense. You're about to go head-to-head with them all fall camp. That's right. Gio Lopez, looking forward to seeing what you're able to do with North Carolina this season. We appreciate the time. Thank you. All right, on the other side of this break, we've got another team that we haven't gotten to talk to yet and going to hear from pretty soon. It is Dabo Swinney talking to ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips. We'll hear Coach Swinney at the podium on the other side of this break. You're watching ACC Football Kickoff.
Get up to $280 off a set of 4 eligible tires during Firestone's Great Big Tire Sale.
I think the perfect tire for the customer is the one that the customer truly needs.
Book now at Firestone Complete Auto Care.
Looking for a tasty way to energize your day? Look no further than Subway's delicious protein-packed footlongs. Like the All-American Club piled high with fresh sliced ham, turkey, and bacon. Okay, zoom in. Enhance. Oh, that's a winner. Or how about the ultimate BNC? Excellent. Just look at all those fresh sliced deli meats. That's 54 grams of protein. And right now, when you buy any footlong in the app, you get another half off. Call up the search folks, we got them. Order now on the Subway app.
Doug. Okay, here's what you want to do. Save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
Are you a caddy?
No, I'm a Doug, and that's a Lino.
Okay, I'm gonna putt now.
Okay, I'm gonna watch you putt.
Oh!
Nice birdie.
ESC is a very nice bird.
Oh no, Nemo! The cards!
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm more me than ever.
Feel more you than ever, without compromise. At TJ Maxx, you can afford to turn your closet into a place of endless expression. With the quality you deserve, styles you crave, and prices you love. Max, what makes you, you.
Where you go when you dream should feel extraordinary. Immerse yourself in the finest organic cotton for the most incredible feeling. Bowling Branch bedding is crafted with higher standards for the softest touch imaginable. Let extraordinary take over and experience softness unlike any other. Only at Bowling Branch.
Here comes the pressure from behind. It dropped the bubble. TJ Parker got him, and Clemson get on it. They think they did it again. Clemson recovers the fumble at the SMU 35. Gonna keep it trying now as they look downfield. Throw got a man wide open. Then walking in the end zone untouched is Wesco left side. Clemson grabs a 6-0 lead. Lubbock will take the shot from snap, back to throw. Looks downfield, throws down the seam, caught. Wesco breaks tackles into the end zone. He goes touchdown. Will be an attempt of 56. Off is a left hash for Boozer. Snap, hold, kick on its way. The ACC champs again. Kelsey Ricks Cuff, Eric McLean here as we get set for what lies ahead. Coach Dabo Sweeney will join us on this set at 12:30. Duke head coach Manny Diaz with us at 1:30, and then North Carolina head coach Bill Belichick with us at 2:30. Clemson is about to step into the press conference room in just a couple minutes, and we'll take you there when they do. But EMAC, this team coming off another college football playoff appearance, another ACC championship, another 10-win season, and the expectations are that they can do all that, maybe potentially more again this year.
Yeah, it really does. And, the fascinating thing that actually Ross Taylor, their SID, just dropped off on me is, last year really felt like it did in 2015, which was my senior year. Now, it's a little bit different because we did make it to the national championship, but we lost. But the general consensus was kind of that we were a year early. That's what it felt like. And that the next year, Clemson would really be able to go on and do great things, and they did. They won a national championship. So this team, in particular, feels like they're in a really good spot. Again, you have the best quarterback in the country. You have the best D-line in the country. I think the most complete wide receiver room in the country. I get Ohio State. Give Jeremiah Smith all the credit in the world. But when you look at returning production, Kelsey, these guys are loaded, and they're older. They understand it. There's just a different confidence, and they have a much better quarterback than Ohio State's going to have, probably a young freshman or an inexperienced guy there. So there's a lot riding on this, and the interesting thing is, what's good enough that you feel like the season was a success? Is it a national championship? Because there's only one of those. Is it making the college football playoff? Is it making a Final Four? So it is fascinating because I've never won in any instance, not just the Tigers, that if you don't win the Natty, it's a failed season. But it kind of feels like in this one, if you don't get close to that, what's next? A lot of guys moving on. There's a lot of chips for Coach Sweeney's all-in right here that are at the center of the table for the Clemson Tigers.
They've got the most returning production in all of FBS, EMAC, and you just touched on all of these highlights. And if you have to pick something that's, okay, what's the question mark? It's how do they fill that hole at running back?
Correct.
So what does that look like for Clemson as you try and replace a guy like Phil Moffitt?
Right, and a great question. And I think, what was interesting is that position. We heard Coach Rick say it a couple of days ago that running back and D tackle are two of the easiest positions. You feel like young guys are ready to go. Handball, go run off. Use your instincts. Do what you know. But pass protection is an interesting thing. You got a very experienced quarterback. You have a very experienced offensive line to help with that. But I feel like if it is a young cat that gets the nod, if it's a true freshman that gets the nod, which he might be the best player, he's going to be fine. I think perfect world, Kelsey, if you ask me today, what does the running back room look like? If you have 2 to 3 guys, they're at 300, 400 yards each, and Cade Klubnik also has 300-400 yards, you're fine running the football. Because he's so experienced as a quarterback, because of the receiver room, you want to see this guy throw it a bunch. And so it's kind of running back by committee, or does a young guy, Gideon Davidson, step up and ready to roll?
There was a lot of good at Clemson this year that we saw last year returning. Of course, they had their new defensive coordinator and Tom Allen. I'm sure Coach Dabo Sweeney will talk about that. They got some transfers, so he doesn't have to answer that question this year. I'm sure he'll hear about that as well. And he is at the podium right now, so we go inside to head coach Dabo Sweeney of the Clemson Tigers.
Whoa, that is bright. Well, just super excited to be at this point in our 2025 journey. This is kind of what it all builds to. Just get to the season. We work all year for just a few days, and one of those days is coming up just a few weeks down the road, and opportunity to go back on the field with our team as a full staff and a complete team next week. So excited about that. Got some great young men with me. So obviously, I don't know where Antonio went. Where's he at? He's coming around, but Antonio Williams is with us. He's somewhere around here, but he's a great receiver, going to graduate in December. Cade Klubnik also going to graduate in December, and then we got 2 outstanding defensive players here, T.J. Parker and Peter Woods. But they're all great people, and these 2 guys right here, 3 years. Great players, but great leaders. Hopefully will graduate in December in 3 years. So great representatives on the field, but also off the field for our program. And just excited about getting going, and look forward to getting on the field with them next week. It's been a good off season. The guys have put the work in. We've been around a lot of good teams, and this team has the ingredients to be a really good team, but we got to go do the work. We can't talk about it or predict our way into it. We've got to go do it and do the work, and so excited about that next phase of our journey. And then for me personally, this is my 36th year in college football, and my 23rd at Clemson, 13 at Alabama, and year 23 at Clemson. I mean, it's just it's special. Just incredibly grateful and blessed to have an opportunity to be a part of a team and have a chance to do something that I really love, and that's the game of football and competing and doing life with a bunch of great young people.
We've got about 12 minutes with Coach before we rotate into our student athletes, so I'll ask that you please identify yourselves and the agency you are with, and we will watch the hands go right up into the air at this point. So, Coach, we will start right side, 3rd row. Again, from the 3rd row back, please stand.
Kenton Gibbs with Locked On ACC. Coach Sweeney, there was a time a few years ago where people were having that conversation of had you fallen off at, a 10-11 game or 10-11 win season.
in the country in retention, and fewest players leaving your program. So, we're purpose-driven, we're relationship-driven, and we've created a ton of consistency, not just in winning. We've been incredibly consistent, but how we've won, and that's by fulfilling the purpose that drives our program and drives the habits within our program every day.
Coach, left side, first row. Coach Cole Bryson with the Fan Upstate. Earlier this morning, your quarterback was talking about this year's team being a veteran team with the amount of freshmen that you played the last 2 years. Obviously, you have to be talented, but in this new era and landscape of college football, how big of a hand up do you feel like the veteran presence gives your team going into the season?
Well, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, experience, as they say, that doesn't come at a discount. Like, we've got a bunch of great young men, our quarterback especially, that's had to, manage success well. He's had to manage some failure well, too. And, he's grown into a great leader of our team. And, the experienced guys, we have most of our team back. I think that, again, speaks to our retention. These guys can leave anytime they want. But so they have to choose, first of all, to come, and then they have to choose to stay. And I just think that says a lot about, kind of how we put it together on the front end. In recruiting guys that really align with our purpose, guys that really value education and want structure and family and accountability, but also, they value the place that they're at. And these guys, they can all go wherever they want to go. But it's a close group. They've done football life together for a few years now, and they've had some success. And certainly last year, and getting a chance to kind of maybe get a little glimpse at the top of the mountain, that's certainly given them a little fuel as they've gotten back to work since January. But great leaders that really truly care about each other. They care about the place, and they have a very clear vision of how they want to finish. Now they got to go do the work.
Coach, right side, second row, hard to the right.
Hey, Coach, Ralph Ames, an Unafraid show with George Reister. Came out, had an opportunity to tour the facility, and one of the things that stuck out was the pod journey. And you talk a lot about retention versus the rest of the country, what you guys are able to do. Can you speak to how pod journey helps you keep the players around that you recruited at high school?
Yeah, so again, our purpose is graduation, number one. Number two is to equip them as men through the game. Number three is to make sure they have a great college experience, and then lastly is to win a championship. I want everybody that comes there to win a championship. That's how we started the program 16 years ago, and nothing has changed. And so Paul Journey is not something that we just started doing. The day that I became an interim coach, October 13th, 2008, I went next door. I lived next door to a guy named Jeff Davis, and he was just my neighbor for 6 years. I didn't really know him as, this great player, and he wasn't working in Clemson football. He was on campus doing development and working with Call Me Mr. Program, and I just kind of laid out my vision. It's like this, if I ever got to be a head coach, this is kind of what I want to do. And the AD said I get to be the head coach for 7 weeks, and I can do whatever I want. And I was like, so this might only be a 7-week job, but this is what I want you to come. I want somebody who's not a coach. And I want somebody who can help me coach life every day, because life's happening. Coaches are busy and we're in meetings. And in those days, there were 9 coaches, 2 GAs, and one ops guy. And so the coaches wore every hat. And so I hired Jeff Davis, and I ended up getting the job. And so he was a one-man shop creating this curriculum that we now call Paul Journey. And now it's it's 6 people, and it's a living, breathing space. It's at the entrance of our building, but it is a curriculum. I mean, we have micro internships all over the world. We've had 100% job placement 7 years in a row. We are equipping them as men. They learn everything from how to tie a tie to how to have a nice dinner, to doing a resume, to how to do an interview. We had a group go to Italy this summer. They went to South Africa last summer. They've been to Thailand, Costa Rica. We are creating life experiences, financial literacy, tax education. We've been doing that for 16 years. And now, with an actual true financial component to College, it just allows us to even further equip them as men. So 81% of the guys who've gotten a shot at the NFL from Clemson have made the roster. That's incredible. So Paul Journey's been a huge part of that. I mean, it truly is an amazing program, and the players can speak even more to it because we're involved in the community a lot. They learn how to serve. We like to say we're a leadership organization. We just play football doing it, and a lot of great leaders have developed, and so that's how we equip them as men, is through Paul Journey, and then having a great college experience. Well, I mean, every summer I see all these pros back in Clemson. From Dexter Lawrence to Cleveland Furrow, Christian Wilkins, and so on, training for 4 or 5 weeks. I've got 25 former players on my staff. They had a great experience. We are top in the country in retention because we're living the purpose. And then over the last part's winning a championship. And so 16 years later, if you say you're purpose-driven, then you ought to have purpose-driven results. And we have the highest graduation in America. Paul Journey is the model player development organization in all of college football. Our kids are staying at a high level because they're having a great experience. And every player that I've ever signed since February of 2009, my first signing class, has won a championship. When I got the job, Clemson hadn't won the league in 20 years. Every player that has signed at Clemson since February of 2009, every player has won a championship. But it's how you win that I think really separates places and people. And there's a lot of narratives, but that's the facts. And but it all goes back to how we put it together on the front end, getting the right people, they really align with what you believe. And you got a group of young men right here that could have gone anywhere in the country out of high school, could have gone anywhere. Every year they've been here, they could have gone somewhere. But they've chosen to be a part of it because they are living that purpose. Again, you got 2 that are going to graduate in December in 3 years. And then Kay's going to graduate in right on time in 3.5 years. And they're all developed as men. They're all having a great experience, and they've won championships. So the only people in our building that haven't won a championship is those guys that just got there. So they're on the clock. But we've never put winning a championship first. It's always been about the purpose that I talked about. And again, Paul Journey is an incredible aspect to that. And Jeff Davis has been, a huge partner in every ounce of success that we've had at Clemson. Jeff Davis has been right there. And I'm talking about from being the captain of the 1981 National Championship team to later in life coming back and buying into the vision that I really wanted to create in being a head coach and how I want to do it. And I told him, here's why. This is why I want it to be that way. And then, man, he's taken it and gone from what we originally called a player relations department to Paul Journey. So it's been awesome to watch.
Coach, thank you. You can switch spots with Kate, and we'll spend a few minutes with the quarterback. Folks, if you would, please identify yourself and the agency you are with. And Kate, you'll get your first question on the first row to your left, all the way down, first row. Hustle on down, hustle on down. Here we go, here we go. Perfect. Right here. Thank you.
Dan Tortora, wakeupcalldt.com. Kate, just to have the coach that you have here in college football, there's an ever-changing climate. There's a lot of selfishness in college football now, but you hear about family, you hear about faith, and you hear about the journey of getting an education and taking care of a lot bigger things in football. What does that mean to you to be coached by Dabo?
Oh man, it's unbelievable. So thankful that Coach Sweeney gave me the opportunity to come to Clemson. I think looking back in the last 3.5 years and going into my last season, just kind of brings my heart a lot of joy. My recruiting process was a little wild, and man, God is so good. And the fact that He got to bring me to Clemson and take me through what He's brought me through, and it's been so good. And to have a coach like Coach Sweeney to lean on through everything, through the ups and the downs, has been unbelievable. And to have somebody that believes in me, you know, after my sophomore year when everybody kind of told me I sucked and wasn't very good, and a lot of people wanted me out of Clemson. And Coach Sweeney pulled me into his office and told me, Cade, I believe in you and let's go to work. And for somebody that I look up to and believe in to tell me that he believes in me, just filled me with confidence. And when he could have gone and done what a lot of other coaches would do, but didn't, and pulled me in tight and said, I believe in you, you know, I'll never forget that moment. And that conversation has fueled me for the last 2 years. And so thankful for my time at Clemson, and it's been really awesome.
Okay, we'll go right side about the fifth row.
Brandon Hawkers with the league winners, heading into the season with a lot of expectations and you being one of the leaders on this Clemson football team, what's the type of mentality you are instilling and helping to instill with this team? And then heading into the regular season, what are you most excited to showcase with this offense to take yet another step forward from a very successful 2024 season?
Yeah, I think our mentality is, man, we're keeping our head down, just kind of keeping it low. We're just going to work every single day. You know, we're not a loud team. We're not going to be shouting and hollering and yapping a whole lot about what we've been doing or what we're going to do. We're just putting our head down and going to work. And I think that starts with the leadership that we have. We have really good leadership all around, and that's kind of our mentality, man. We've been through the fire, we've been through it, and we've stuck together. And that's the biggest thing, is we've stuck together and we've come out the other side and just continually trying to persevere and go be the best we can be. And in terms of our offense, we got a lot coming back. That's really exciting. I know somebody hit on it earlier, but I mean, we've been a young team. I feel like every year I've been here. And we're a veteran team and very experienced. Got a lot of guys that have played a lot of ball. And that's really exciting, but we got to go do it. You know, we got to go do it. We got to take advantage of every opportunity we get. And so, yeah.
Okay, left side, front row.
AKA Trevor Gross, CUTigers.com. Clemson hasn't had a home opener since 2019, so first one for you. How excited are you about opening against LSU in the original Death Valley?
That's right. I'm very excited to open up at home. Yeah, I've never been able to do that in my college career, so I'm excited to be in Death Valley for the first one. It's gonna be awesome. Obviously excited for the first game. It's gonna be a great opportunity for us. You know, it's a great opportunity for us with a great opponent, and but you know, we're excited for every game this year. Every game has to be treated like it's a national championship. Whether it's week 1, week 5, week 8, we have to take advantage of every single week because that's what college football, you know, that's what it is. And you have to give the highest respect to every opponent that you have. And that's the type of mentality that I try to have, and that's the mentality Coach Sweeney, you know, gives us every single week. So excited for week 1, excited to start at home.
Okay, thanks for the time. You can switch spots with TJ. We'll spend a little bit of time with our defensive end. TJ, your first question will come to the right, third row.
Kenton Gibbs with Locked On ACC. TJ, Clemson has set such a standard, particularly in the front seven and with defensive line, that this is the longest drought that we've seen in terms of Clemson having a defender being named the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Is that something that you look at as like a, hey, you know, obviously the championship is the main goal, but it would be great to break that streak and be the next in that lineage of Jaquan Bowers and company that have won that award at Clemson?
To be honest with you, I never really put no thought into it. If I handle my season well and how I need to and get the team and we consistently win it, it'll take care of itself. You know, I don't really get into too much of that. I just let the work show.
TJ, we're going to go to the left side.
David Hope at TigerNet.com. There's obviously a lot of expectations and excitement with Tom Allen coming in and this defense. Coach Sweeney told us last week, though, all he has to do is turn on the Texas tape to kind of bring everybody back down to earth. How much has last season kind of fuel what happened in the offseason and heading into this year?
Yeah, obviously we didn't get the job done against Texas, and you know that kind of stuck right there. And for me, I'm always big on getting better. And that was the first thing we talked about with Coach Allen. We sat down and had a conversation like what I did wrong in that game, what I could have done better, and here's what we're going to do going forward. And from him, since day one, it's been about passion. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type, I need to be coached hard as possible. You can get in my face and tell me what it is and tell me what I need to do. And he's been that since day one. And for me, that just builds a lot of confidence in my game. Excuse me. And, you know, also looking forward. And I'm just so happy to have him on the team. And it's going to be a great season.
TJ right side about the fifth row. If you'll please stand, sir. Thank you.
Thomas Christopher from the league winners, kind of building off that, you know, Tom Allen worked with the Bill Carter at Penn State last year and he put up great numbers. What's your excitement level going into this season and what are your expectations?
For me, I mean, I'm just excited for the new defense. Play fast, free, and physical. You know, I'm looking to have an even better season than I did last year. Obviously, seeing Coach Allen have a first-round caliber defensive end, have the season he had, I can see myself recreating something like that even better, but being my own person. So I'm just super excited about that.
TJ, we're going to head back to the front row, left side.
TJ, Dan Tortora, wakeupcallbt.com. You spoke a little bit about new defensive coordinator Tom Allen. What is it about his leadership style that speaks to you, and what can you say about just how he's already gotten a lot out of you even before we hit the fall?
Man, I can rate on and on about Coach Allen, man. He demands excellence from us, you know what I'm saying? And he demands a lot more accountability than we've ever seen before, whether that's in the classroom or on the field. If we don't reach our goals from every practice, we don't up downs and things like that, man. You just see that he really cares. And obviously with him having the head coaching experience and the coordinator experience that he's had for a long time, he knows and seen it all. So just that belief that we've had in him and the trust, we've seen a lot of change in the spring ball and then now transitions in summer going into the season. Now I'm just super excited to see it all come together.
TJ, thank you. You and Peter can switch spots, and we will round out our time with Clemson with our D linemen. Looking out into the room, and we will start on the left-hand side. Gentleman with his hands straight up in the air, the only arm on the left side there. Sir, if you'll please stand when the mic comes, that would be great. Thank you.
Gary McDaniel, Clemson Sports News. Peter, you moved outside last year out of a need to play defensive end, as Christian Wilkins did a few years before you. Moving back inside this year and underneath Tom Allen's tutelage, what do you see as far as your potential moving forward this year, and how does it feel to move back inside?
I'm super excited. You know, I just love the game, and you know, I'm just willing to do whatever it takes, you know, to put my team in the best position to win. So if it's inside, it's outside, it's off the ball, if I'm throwing the ball, it don't really matter. Whatever coach asks me to do, I'm gonna get it done to the best of my ability, and that's really all it is. That's your job. You got that though, but I'm gonna get it done though.
Peter, right side, gentleman towards the back.
Peter, Taz, Henry, College Football Sunday. Just a quick question. How does Coach Sweeney and the staff prepare you guys this year for when there's media hype for you guys? And how did he keep you focused knowing that the game was decided on the field?
As you can see, we come up here and we have a lot of the same answers, but I don't think it's getting us prepared for the media. It's just a cultural thing. You know, we share a lot of the same core values and a lot of the same principles, and that's what makes us Clemson. And I think, you know, we're able and we're blessed to be in a position where we're able to voice that to you guys and all the other different outlets. But I think it just starts with the culture. Coach Sweeney sets the tone, and as leaders of the team, we come out and we enforce that. And so I think that kind of comes out in the media, and that's why our answers are kind of similar.
Peter will be left side, trending towards the left.
Hey Peter, this is Grayson Mann with TigerNet.com. Nick Easton last week said that after challenging you all offseason, you've had your best offseason yet. Just for you, how do you feel physically heading into the fall, and just how's that relationship with Nick Easton continue to grow?
I feel great. I mean, I would say I really feel the best that I've ever felt. Coach Easton, at the least, he's been a great coach to me. You know, he's been a kind of a father figure in the facility for me, as just, you know, helping me develop holistically and as a man, and just kind of teaching me the game. You know, he's done it on every level and every way imaginable that you can think of. On the college level, coached on the college level, played in the NFL, coached on the NFL level. So it's just being grateful to be able to learn from a guy like Coach Easton is just always something that, you know, I've held to a very high regard since I've been in high school.
Peter, right side, be about the fourth row.
Hey Peter, Davon Nixon, Fox Sports Radio Charlotte. With you guys opening against LSU and the SEC bragging about being more physical than other conferences and the game starting in the trenches, what's the mental preparation going into the game and even during when you're going against an opponent that really tries to out-physical you and even out-psych you?
Much like Kay said, just put your head down and do the work. I mean, it's football. I don't think it's an opponent that we're going against that's not going to try to out-physical us. We just got to be confident in the work that we put in this offseason. And I've said it like probably 50 times today that you only get to play 16 days, so you really maybe at max get to play 16. That's the national championship is 16. So the other 349 days, you got to figure out what it is that you have to do to get better, and just really how much you're willing to work to get the results you want. And I feel like our result is going to show based on how we work.
Peter, left side, front row.
Peter Bob Gillespie, StraightUpSports.net. About 10 years ago, when I'm assuming you were still in grade school, Coach Swinney took his first team to the national championship game, lost it. In that 10-year period since then, they've won 2 national titles. So when did you first become aware of Clemson as a national power and Coach Swinney as somebody that you wanted to play for?
This is actually like a funny question. I did not really know that I was coming to Clemson until the day that I committed, to be honest. It was just kind of just like an overwhelming feeling that you just kind of get when you're in the building and you're around the people. And it's just something that I always tell people, like, to even understand, you got to go see it for yourself, to be honest, because it's truly special. And like it's really no secret. Like I grew up, Alabama fan, Alabama Auburn. I'm in Alabama my whole life. But it was just something, just a feeling on me that I just couldn't pass up to, come play for Coach Swinney. I believed in him. I believed in his vision. I believed in the guys that I came in with, and it's just been special from there. So I think that the biggest thing for me was just coming in, and me and Cade and TJ. Cade's first year starting was me and TJ's first year playing. So now we're here looking at our third year, being kind of like the starters, and we've been together this whole time. And I think that kind of solidifies the decision that I made, like knowing that I came to a place that's about family and principles and just sticking together.
Clemson, thank you. Good luck this season. Enjoy your time in Charlotte. Folks, Duke is due up next in the room.
All right, that was Peter Woods, TJ Parker, Cade Klubnik speaking to the media after their head coach, Dabo Swinney, was at the podium. You see right now their schedule, talking a lot about this LSU game, things that we'll open up with. Of course, ACC Huddle will be there for a 2-hour pregame show on August the 30th, coming to you live from the biggest game of the week in the ACC every single Saturday. Fresh off the podium and sitting down at the set right now, Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney is here. We'll get to talk to him on the other side of this break.
This is a story about the one who looks to Granger to make sparks fly. Getting it done right is a craft. It takes experience, the right material, and the right partner like Granger with a wide range of professional-grade products. For the one, working hard means others can play even harder. Call, click Granger.com, or stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
What did you like most about your team's performance?
The fun's in the winning.
Whether
whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance, plus stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the Deluxe Bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.
Welcome back into Uptown Charlotte. ACC football kickoff continues, and the ACC champs just came off of the podium. The Clemson Tigers here. We got to hear from all of their players and their head coach, Dabo Swinney, who is now here at the desk with us. Coach Swinney, always good to see you and talk to you. You come back as the ACC champs, coming off another 10-win season. You got your quarterback back. You got a lot of players back. You got a lot of hype around this team, and I know there's a lot to be excited about, and you'll keep it all, at base level, because you got to go out there and play. But what's one thing that right now, as you guys get ready for fall camp next week, that you're the most excited about what you've been able to do in this program?
What I've been able to do in the program or this season?
With your off season, with your team getting ready for.
I'm most excited about being a complete team next week because we had a lot of guys out in the spring. So for the first time, really getting on the field. But the biggest thing is just the young men that we have and just the development that I've been able to see, from this experienced group. We've got, I don't know if you saw the press conference, but I mean, Peter Woods and T.J. Parker, they're great players, but they're graduating in December in 3 years. Cade Klubnik, I mean, his leadership and just having a front row seat to that development has been awesome. Antonio Williams, who's here as well. I mean, what a stud he is, man. He's graduating in December. So I think the biggest thing is in the craziest time ever in football, not only have we won, but we have the highest graduation rate in the country, and we're tops in the country in retention. Fewest players leaving our program. So the reason we have so much experience coming back, and y'all talking about all the production coming back, is because kids stay. And that's what I'm most excited about. That means they're having a great experience.
Can you lean a little bit more into that? Because I think it is the great uniqueness of Clemson. And obviously I lived it. I know that this is just for you to tell everybody else. But in a world of the most uncertainty, the most chaos, you bring everybody back. You keep everybody back. You develop these guys into monsters and great men, on the football field there. Why? Why do they want to stay?
Yeah, well, it's not me bringing them back. They choose, because everybody has a choice, and they choose to stay. And I think that just speaks to, living daily our purpose that we have in our program. It's a place that values education and family. There's a lot of structure. There's a lot of accountability. As you know, it's not for everybody. And, we have a group of young people that have bought into it, but it's how it's put together on the front end. We're brutally transparent in the process, and the kids that are coming, they're coming because they really align with the people and the place. And so, because at the end of the day, relationships are still very important. And so, that's why. I mean, it's an amazing place. We're a bunch of great people. I've got 25 former players on my staff. It's a very connected place, and there's, again, a lot of alignment that's really hard to find in college football.
I do love that you said that, and I love the question because I'm thinking about the roster, and you got so many backups that could be starters other places and other big-time programs. So I give you a lot of credit for the type of culture that you have there. But I'm also thinking about development because you stay at Clemson, you get developed, and that's why you guys are going to be special this year. Can you speak on Cade from his day one to where he is now, his growth as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, development is what we've been about for 16 years that I've been the head coach. I mean, our average recruiting has been 13.6 in my tenure. But as a head coach, had the most draft picks in the country the last 16 years. So, I think what's one for us is evaluation, retention, and development, and getting more people to buy into that. But that, again, goes back to alignment on the front end. Cade's a perfect example of that. He was 175 pounds when he got there. And, I just like being with people that are really invested in not just, what they're doing, but why they're doing it and who they're doing it with. And this kid came all the way from Austin, Texas. What a winner. He's a highly recruited guy, but not ready to play physically, really, at 175 pounds, and really had to kind of mature. His first year as a starter, well documented, took too many sacks, turned it over a lot, had some weird games. And now all of a sudden, for the first time, really, he had some football adversity. But if you're made of the right stuff, it shines you up. It either grinds you up or shines you up. It's all about what's inside you. And he's got the right stuff, man. And so it was easy for me to say, hey, man, it's like, you're going to get better. I mean, EMAC got better. He got better. He did.
It took a lot longer than 1 year.
Yeah, but he developed, and he left as a champion. And Cade, I just believed in him. And, it's easy now to compromise. I try to lead with conviction. That's just how I go about my life. And I had a lot of conviction that Cade was a guy that was important enough to him that he was going to go get better. And that's what he's done. And now he's a 207-pound kid. He went out last year. He did things that he less sacks, less turnovers, less TFLs, more leadership, better decision making, better situational awareness, used his legs. I couldn't get him to use his legs the year before. And so, but that's because he believes he does the work. And he's just such a great kid. And I'm so excited about him this year. And if the Lord keeps him healthy, we'll always have a chance with that guy. And then you talk about development. I've got this kid named Chris Vizina. And when he came, he was 17. I was like, here's the plan. We're going to redshirt you. Then you're going to be a redshirt right now. All things stay, and he bought into that. And the kid we're getting ready to play at LSU is a similar guy. I think it's impressive what he's done. So he stayed at LSU, and you see, what he's done. Behind Jaden Daniels, you don't see that much anymore. And Vizina is another guy like that he's just a guy that's blooming. And nobody knows much about it, but I think he's in position to really be a good football player. But that's our culture. That's Clemson. And if you come in and you do the work, you're going to get what you earn. And this is not everybody wants things right now, but I still believe in the crock pot mentality, man. Best meals I ever had come out of a crock pot, and not a microwave. That's what I believe in.
And that's the Clemson way. And I think it's fun for me as a former player, as one of your former players. Other media members and people at different places will text me, he doesn't know what he's doing anymore. And now this year it's, oh my God. He's back. And I said, well, first of all, I never left. And he's going to do his thing his way, and it's going to work out the way it does. And one of those is bringing in a new defensive coordinator and going and get Tom Allen. And I know that was horrible. Anytime you have to hire somebody or move on, it's the worst thing as a coach, and I understand that. But why was he the choice, and what has he changed about this Clemson defense?
Yeah, he was just. I was looking for, there's a lot of good coaches out there, but I really was looking for the right leader. And I just felt like he was the right leader of men, because I have a great staff, and I really, I wanted the right leader for the staff and the players. And certainly he's got the track record, the background to go with it, and the success, but just a lot of alignment, our core values, family, you name it. And he took the job and never even been to Clemson, which
pretty special. Good job on your part.
Is a reminder to me of, because sometimes, I've been in Clemson 23 years, so sometimes but people in the business, that this is what they do, they know this is a great place to work. And so it's been awesome, and he's been amazing for our staff. He's been amazing for the players. They've all bought in. But, you know, he's on a nice honeymoon right now. We got LSU rolling in here in a few weeks, so we've got a lot of work to do there. But, you know, I just felt like he was the right guy at the right time, and it was the right time for him, too.
Coach, you mentioned something about Cade and that belief that you always had in him, and we heard him at the podium talk about that conversation that you had with him after he went through some of those trials. What was it, not just that you saw in him, because I know that you saw him from the beginning, but that you saw in him after that? Could you tell that that really got through to him, and really knowing, you know, he always knew you had his back, but that conversation seemed to be a really special one to him?
Yeah, because, you know, again, I knew what he was going through, and again, you got to understand the person. I mean, 3 state championships in a row, never lost a game in high school. I think the closest game he played in was 14 points. Crazy. And all of a sudden, you come in, and right out of the gate, you know, he's kind of a backup, and then we put him in the ACC championship game, and he's the MVP. You know, and it's like everything's perfect, right? And you know, it's like this is his life to this point. And then you come out the next year, and you have an overtime loss, a double overtime loss, and next thing you know, it hadn't gone. Now, for the first time, he's really got a lot of football adversity, and then it's, you know, your coach stinks, you stink, you're never going to win with this guy. There's comparison in this world of social media where there's, you know, all this stuff, but this guy's a winner, and I mean, he has great support around him. He's got a great foundation to his life. I watched how he worked and how he processed things, from like whether it was something good or something bad. And you know, people like that, again, when they're made of the right stuff, they're going to get better. But I also think it's important that you know, you let people know you believe in them. I mean, I had the same thing happen to me. I mean, my second year, we won 6 games, and we had just lost a home game to South Carolina. Man, it was a bad day.
I got to tell you, as a recruit, I was a little nervous. I was like, here we go again.
Yeah.
What's about to happen to my coach?
Yeah, 2010. And I mean, you know, and I'm like, and I do the press conference, and I come out of the press conference, and my wife's crying, you know, when I get to the thing, and I just, you know, and I you know, she's crying because I thought she was just sad for me. It had been a tough year. And my, you know, first year we went to the championship. Second year we won 6 games, and we lost 5 games by 6 points or less that year. You know, one in overtime to Auburn and Cam Newton. They go and win a national championship at Florida State. I mean, it was just brutal. And Kat's crying, and I'm like, it's going to be okay, babe. It's okay. And then she's looking at me, and I can tell she's like, help me. And she's just like, I'm sorry, but Terry Don's in your office. And so, I mean,
she thinks it's over.
She's ready.
So she thinks I'm getting fired.
Yeah.
And I think I'm getting fired. And I'm like, and I just gave her a big hug, and I said, listen, it's okay. I said, man, God's never left us. I said, you know, I've done the best I can do. And I was like, and I know that, and hey, I'm thankful for the opportunity. I said, we'll be fine. And I gave her a big hug, and she just, and it was like I'm walking the plank, you know, because I got to walk through the door, and then you come around, and my office door was cracked, lights were off, and I looked through the crack, and Terry Don Phillips is sitting in there on the couch like this.
You're like, this is it.
It's like The Godfather.
And I never forget. I just took a deep breath, and I just, you know, and I was like, man, hey, you know, Lord, thank you, you know, and I just, you know, you got it, and I was totally prepared for him to fire, and I was going to be okay. I was going to just give him a hug and thank him, and you know, it's the business. So, but I walk in, and he goes, you got to know Terry Don. He's a Arkansas guy, Frank Broyles guy. He's just tough and gritty, and he goes, Dabo, come over here and sit down. And so I go over and sit down, and he looks at me, and I'll never forget it. I mean, I literally think I'm being fired. You know, I feel the weight of the world. You lose your rival game. It's just been a brutal year, and not going the way I want. And I know we're a better team, and I know we're doing the right things, but I'm just like, this is the moment. He's like, look, and I'll never forget. He looked me dead in the eye, and he said, Dabo, I want you to hear me. He said, now listen to me. He called me son. He said, son, there's going to be a lot of negativity. There's going to be a lot of criticism. He said, but what I want you to know is I got your back. That's what he told me. And he said, and here's what I also want you to know. He said, I believe in you more right now in this moment than I did when I hired you. And he said, and I believe you're going to be one of the great coaches that we've had. And he said, and I know you'll do what you need to do to get us better, but I just want to encourage you. You keep doing what you believe in, and I want you to know I got your back. And then he said, and then he looked at me and he goes, hey, and if it don't work, you help me pack, I'll help you pack. And he gave me this big hug and walked out.
Oh, man.
Now, you talk about some conviction and belief and what that did for me and knowing that I had that type of support, it's no different. And when you really believe in something, it's easy to have that conviction. And I believe in Cade Klubnik, and I believe in Clemson.
George.
In our purpose and how we do things. I believe that we have to use this platform of football to educate and graduate young people and equip them as men, beyond the game. I believe in that with all my heart, and that's what we live every single day. And as long as I'm there, that's how we're going to do it.
Well, a decade and a half later, he believed in the right things. It'll be fun to see. It'll be fun to see where Cade Klubnik is in a decade and a half from now. Right now, we're looking forward to seeing where he is with that big game in Death Valley. Coach Sweeney,
probably hanging out in Cabo somewhere.
Just living the life, right?
I'll still be grinding over here.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Best of luck this season. These guys will see you for your first one there in Death Valley. Meanwhile, we got more to come here from ACC football kickoff in Uptown Charlotte. A lot of talk about the college football playoff, the format, what's next. You see Andrea Eggleston, David Hale standing by with CFP Director Rich Clark. He'll join us here on set as we talk about the future of college football and the playoff after this.
Messes happen every day in every way, but who wants to drag out that bulky vacuum? Hey folks, Jeff Fowler here with my favorite cleaning partner, the Duck, a super compact vac with ultra powerful suction. This is a small but mighty Duck, making it quick and easy to clean up any mess. Just duck it up. The compact design can reach the tightest places. It's smaller than a water bottle. Oh, but look at this. It even fits inside my pocket. So store it in any drawer where it's always at your fingertips. Plus, it dumps out with ease, so it's ready to clean again.
I used to have to drag out this huge thing they call a portable vacuum cleaner. Now I keep the Duck in my kitchen drawer and I clean up messes in 2 seconds.
The turbocharged motor is engineered to create a powerful vortex of suction, while the HEPA filter helps remove dust and allergens. Let's prove the power of the Duck. I attach it to the hose. It's gonna pull the water right up through the tube. Clean up that mess in the kitchen, the spill on the sofa, even the sawdust and screws in the workshop. Plus, it's rechargeable. Got busy pets? Duck powerfully picks up pet hair from anywhere. You can even store it in your glove box for the ultimate car vac. Clean seats, the floor, and deep into those hard-to-reach places. I promise the Duck will change the way you clean.
Get the horsepower Duck hand vac for just $39.99. Order right now and we'll upgrade you to the Duck Pro package. A $30 value, yours free. You get the bendable tube to get under appliances, the crevice nozzle to reach into those cracks and crevices, and the brush nozzle to vacuum with no scratches. You'll get the Duck with all the deluxe attachments, but supplies aren't limited, so there's a strict limit of 3 per order. This may be your last chance to get yours at this low, low price. So don't delay. Duck it up today.
Call 1-800-914-3213 or visit duckback.com. So call 1-800-914-3213 or visit duckback.com. Order now.
It's a situation that's set up for failure because there's human bias, and there's always going to be. So I think if we could remove a committee from the situation, it would help, because there's no other major professional sport or major sport in America or the world that uses a committee to select their tournament participants. And you look at America, it's the NFL and it's college football. So I think we need to relook at that. And just imagine, I know our commissioner has been outspoken about this before as options of what we could do, not only in a championship game, but maybe in a 2 versus 3, a 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5 kind of scenario. Imagine if championship Saturday every year, right after Thanksgiving, was your 4 Power 4 conference championship games, and you had a 3 versus 6 and a 4 versus 5 in every conference playing to try to get in a 16-team playoff.
I mean, it would be like March Madness Thursday and Friday. It would be the best Saturday that college football could ever manufacture. So I think that we need to reimagine and think outside the box a little bit instead of just going down the same path we've gone down before. And we've got a great opportunity to do that, so I hope leadership will do that.
All right, that was SMU head coach Rhett Lashley on Tuesday coming out with his plan, a potential CFP model. Here's what he says. It is a hypothetical, of course, playoff scenario. 16 teams, no committee, no buys. Top 8 get first round home games based off some sort of computer ranking. There would be 4 SEC, 4 Big 10, 4 ACC, 3 Big 12, 1 group of 5. That means championship conference weekend would feature all 16 teams playing 1 versus 2. 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, where the game is played at the higher seeds school. And if you win, you got a chance to be in the college football playoff. A lot to digest there and a lot to talk about here because we have college football playoff director Rich Clark here with us, Andrea Adelson, David Hale joining me at the set as well. So Rich, I just want to start with, I know you have heard all the different scenarios. Everybody has different ideas, and I'm sure you see them and you at least think about them. But as you look at the future of the college football playoff, what do you see in the coming years as far as the committee's ability to continue to adjust? Because I know you made some changes this year.
Sure. Well, first, thanks for having me. Right now, we are in the midst of change, and for the next couple of years, it's I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go. It's either going to be 12, 14, or 16 teams, and we're still working on that with the commissioners. Good collaborative process, and we'll get to a good answer on that. I think the bigger question is, do we go with automatic qualifiers or do we go with the ranking from the selection committee? And that's a question that the commissioners are wrestling with now, and we're trying to lead them to a good decision on that one. But what I will say is, this coming year, we have a great 12-team playoff coming, and it's going to be fantastic. We changed the seeding that we did last year. Last year we reseeded the top 4 conference champions to get buys past the first round. This year we won't do that. We'll go with the straight ranking, 12 teams, and it's going to be spectacular. I have no doubt. And last year was great. People sometimes lose fact of the vision of the fact that it was really great last year. And the campus games were spectacular. The quarterfinals and semifinals that the bowl games did for us were just amazing. And then our champ game here or in Atlanta was just really a special game. So I think we're in a good place, and wherever we land, it's going to be a great playoff. I promise that.
You mentioned it's been a collaborative process, but publicly we've heard some commissioners who are in favor of a 5+11 model, some commissioners who want the 4 guaranteed for the SEC and the Big 10 and some other automatic qualifiers. So how do we get to a point where there is a resolution to this when there appear to be some conferences that are saying, no, I want this, and others that are saying, I want that?
Yeah, so one important fact here, if they agree to disagree, then we stick with the current format. So and that's a decision in and of itself. But they have to talk, and they have to collaborate, and they do. There is differences of opinion, and I think that's natural. And when they come into the room, they both bring the pros and cons from both sides of the issue, and they just have to talk it out. And in the end, there's compromises that happen, there's changes of opinions that can happen, but in the end, they will walk out of the room. They're all colleagues, they're great professionals, and they will have a decision, whether we stick with the current format or we go with one of the others with 12, 14, or 16. It's going to be something that everyone's going to walk out of the room agreeing on, and this is where we're going to go, and it's going to be great. So we'll have an answer, and really our deadline is December 1st. That's the deadline for us to have a decision, and they're moving in that direction, but they're being very deliberate about this process because it matters, what we do. And when people say, oh, these guys can't get to a decision, they answer, they have 150 other decisions that they make all the time, every week. They do work together very closely on a lot of different things. This just happens to be a big one that people are more interested in maybe than some of the other decisions that they come to, but in the end, it's going to be good.
Well, I wanted to pitch you on my idea of all the commissioners playing a rock, paper, scissors tournament. Yeah, so that's something to think about.
Yes.
But I do want to, assuming we don't go with Brett Lashley's plan, which is interesting, and the committee does stay involved. One of the things that I've heard consistently from coaches is we want to know how the committee is using various metrics, what they're going to use to determine their rankings, and that those metrics will be consistent from one team to the next. I hear that complaint from fans, like, well, you said this about Alabama, but you said this about Miami, and those two things don't match. What are the conversations like within your rooms about how best to create a structure for the committee?
So the committee is structured, and like any other decision process, you have 13 people in there that come from different perspectives. You have sitting athletic directors, you have former coaches, former players, journalists. They have a lot of data tools at their fingertips that they can use. Strength of schedule, relative offense, relative defense, field position that helps gauge specialty team performance. You also get feedback from the conferences. There's so much that they get, so much data. And one thing that we don't want to prescribe to them is how to use that data. If we get too prescriptive, then you might as well plug it into a computer and say, here's a computer. And if people remember, back in the BCS days, that's how we did it. And no one liked that. They didn't like a formula that was plug and play and get an answer. That did not work. You have to have a human element in this. You have to have humans involved in making decisions about a human endeavor, right? Football is a human endeavor. There's uncertainty and factors that a computer just can't see and can't understand, whereas people can. And so I disagree when people say that you do away with the committee and you can't play every game head-to-head. Like, you're never going to be able to play head-to-head throughout the entire FBS. So having a committee there, people of high integrity, that's one thing they do have in common. All of them check their hats at the door. They come in and they are neutral players, and they're going to do the right thing. But they all do look at this with a different perspective, but that's what makes it great. You consider, any kind of decision that takes in a broad swath of different organizations, different players that are involved in it. You just can't put one single formula on it to go, this is how you're going to make that decision. So I think there's certainly changes and things that we're trying to tweak with the selection committee, and in particular the tools that we give them. But in the end, I think they do a pretty good job. And public opinion, honestly, they're in the 80% plus from fan approval of what the committee does. 80%. Nothing in our country is 80% approval these days. So I think that they're actually doing a pretty good job.
Anytime you have something this big that means this much to many people, then you're going to have a whole lot of different opinions. We all have opinions on it. I'm glad to not be one of the people in the room that has to put my stamp on it and make those decisions. You guys do a great job, Rich. We appreciate the time and the insight. Thanks for being with us here at ACC Kickoff.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And thanks for what you guys do for college football. We appreciate that and bringing it to the fans. Build some understanding with them, but more about the sport we love. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing the college football playoff again this year with 12 teams, City or those top teams, as he mentioned, that win their conference championships. On the other side of this break, we go back inside to the podium. It is Duke head coach Manny Diaz getting ready to take the stage before he joins the crew on set, which will now include for the rest of the day Taylor Tannenbaum on the other side of this break.
This is a story about the one who can fix nearly anything, and turns to Granger, who has almost everything. He troubleshoots issues, maintains the facility, and keeps it all on track. Few may see him put the work in, but when they see the results, they know he's the one who keeps the doors open. The high-quality industrial products you need, plus a million more. Call, click Granger.com, or stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
That's Michelle Lee West. She's a force on the golf course, and I help her make every shot that she takes the best one possible. I guess I'm a lot like Mizuho, in the same way they help their clients succeed. And like me, Mizuho provides tailored solutions to make a real impact. Everything from investment banking to equities and fixed income, derivatives, and so much more. It's a partnership as beautiful as that bird. Mizuho Americas, a name worth knowing.
Whether because of discomfort, lack of mobility, your lifestyle, or occupation, you sit inactively way too many hours a day. Introducing Ellipse, the premium quality automatic seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation without physical strain or impact.
It is so quiet that none of my coworkers even know I'm using it.
Strengthen and tone your legs, increase your mobility, flexibility, and balance. Plus, stimulate healthy circulation.
My joints feel better, my knees feel better, my back feels better. It makes me feel stronger too.
Perfect for home therapy. Whisper quiet to use while you work.
My circulation is moving, I'm burning calories, and it makes me feel energetic.
Call now and order Ellipse, the seated exerciser that strengthens legs, increases mobility, and boosts circulation. Call and get upgraded to the deluxe bundle. Get the faster motor or 5 miles of steps per hour, the step counter, the sport mat, and wireless remote. Call now.